Alright, I'm back. Sorry. Had to make a phone call. They reached height of humanity, understand. Wait, what? What do you mean? What's that? What's happening? I'm nearly what? Alright, hold on. I gotta put my medicine on. Gotta put my medicine on. Oh, baby. Thank you. Thank you. Oh man, what a stream. My fucking throat. My throat! From all the screaming. Thank you for the bitter leaf. My throat from all the screaming. Oh. That's crazy. I really like hanging out with Mysta. He's really fun. He's funny. Oh yeah, that reminds me. Tomorrow we'll be doing more Streamily signings. We're gonna... Yeah, he's really fun. He's really fun. He's hilarious. I enjoy hanging out with him so much. Your health matters more? Aw, you're too kind, thank you. This is cute as heck. Yeah, I love hanging out with him. He's so fun. I feel like he gets my humor, you know? We're both equally crazy. And dumb. No, he's not dumb. Yeah, he's an amazing entertainer. Heckin' love Rias. I heckin' love... Ooh, Stanley Parabola? That's right, we never finished it. Yeah, let me finish putting on my medicine. This is so sweet to hear. What do you mean? Oh my god. What do you mean so sweet? Of course I enjoy spending time with him. Holy shit. I don't know. I feel like I've been very lucky to meet so many people that are so nice and they're so entertaining and they're just a joy to be around. When I'm around Mysta, I can't help but smile and laugh. He's just that type of energy, you know? Okay, Speak of the Devil next week. We were supposed to have Speak of the Devil next week with Ludwig. What day? It was supposed to be on Wednesday at 10 p.m. But we're gonna be doing it on Tuesday at 10 p.m. So Speak of the Devil with Ludwig on Tuesday at 10 p.m. He's going on a trip and he messaged me and he's like, I'm going on a trip. Yeah, so Ludwig, Speak of the Devil, Tuesday. At 10 p.m. Ludwig! You going on a trip with Beethoven? My favorite. Actually, no, Beethoven is not my favorite composer. My favorite composer is Mozart. My favorite opera is The Magic Flute. I know, I'm dumb. I remember when I was a young lass, a wee lass, and I was at school among scholars who were interested in composers and classical music. Every time I would tell people that my favorite composer was Mozart, they'd straight up call me a basic ass bitch. Like, ugh, Mozart, what? Oh, of course. Of course you would like Mozart. And I'm like, what the fuck? I like Mozart, what the fuck? No, no, ugh. I knew this one person that was like obsessed with, fuck, who was it? I don't know. I don't know, man. I used to know all these damn composers. I don't remember shit. I just know that I had so many friends that were like super stuck up about it. Oh, you mean you don't like rock? No, 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 no. I'm like, what the fuck? I don't go. Huh? Yeah, classical music hipsters, bro. Chopin was a... Every time... Oh my god. I had a friend that every time somebody mentioned Chopin, she'd be like, Chopin was a weirdo. He was a strange man. And I'm like, who gives a shit? They're dead. I was like, what the heck? Most of those guys were weirdos. I mean, listen, back then, everyone was a fucking weirdo. I mean, could you be anything but a weirdo back then? I don't think so. I mean, back then, there was nothing... There was, like, no technology or anything. Of course you're gonna be a fucking weirdo. What else are you gonna do? Oh god, today I got like a random idea in my head, but I don't think I ever want to do it because I just don't think I could sit through all that. I got this random ass idea in my brain of finding out what is like the earliest known recording of a comedy act. Like a stand-up comedy act. And I wanted to go like through the years of comedy and see the evolution of comedy and see if I would find anything from like the back then funny. I was thinking about that. I think that was something that I really wanted to do. And I'm like, man, should I ever do... should I do that, man? Because I was on YouTube and I was just randomly going down a rabbit hole of like old ass stand-up comedy, and I'm like, what is like the first known recorded instance of like stand-up comedy? And like I was watching these acts and I'm like, why is it that I don't find this funny, but everybody in that audience found it funny at the time? And would they still find it funny now? And then I just started thinking about a lot of stuff. Also, I was very medicated. I was trying to like deconstruct the anatomy of a fucking joke in my brain. I just started thinking, it's like, what makes something funny and why is it funny? And how come if you were to watch a stand-up comedy act from like years ago and you were to watch it now, most people just wouldn't fucking laugh, but everybody in the crowd is fucking laughing? I have so many thoughts in my brain. You laughed at bread? I mean, think about it. I'm sure it was like when I was a kid. I used to think Dane Cook was funny. And now it's like, what the fuck was I thinking? How did I think this was funny? The fuck? we all had a Dane Cook phase? Oh God, Carlos Mencia! Whatever happened to him? Yo, whatever happened? Oh my God, you know what's funny? I watched a video of Carlos Mencia and I'm like, holy shit. These jokes did not age well at all. This is bad. He got canceled? What did he get canceled for? Oh, he was stealing jokes? Damn. Yikes. Alright, am I the only one? Hold on. I'm just gonna be honest. I fucking hate Amy Schumer. I don't find her funny at all. Oh my God, I cannot stand. I don't like it. I don't like her comedy. I don't like it. I don't want to hear about tampons. I don't want to hear about periods. I just don't. I don't find periods funny. I don't find tampons funny. I'm sorry. I'm sorry if it's a hot take, okay? Goddamn. Or maybe it's not. I don't know. I just feel like a lot of females like her, but I just don't like her. I don't like her comedy. I don't think it's funny. I just don't want... You know what's funny though? It's so funny because so many people... I've seen comments about us and VShojo and stuff, and we always get compared to Amy Schumer and whatever the fuck, and I'm just like, bruh. How dare you say that to me? It's like, I'm not here making jokes about my vagina. Like, what the fuck? I don't want to talk about tampons. I don't want to talk about I don't want to talk about any of that shit. Fuck off. It's a horrendous comparison. But yeah, I just don't find her funny. I don't find her funny. I don't like... I've tried to like her. I feel like she's kind of tolerable when she's in a movie and she's reading from a script. Kind of tolerable. I feel so... I just, you know... Also, doesn't she steal her jokes? Is she making a tweet? No! I'm putting on my medicine, I'm sorry. Wanna speak of the devil with Amy? Oh dear God, no. No. Fluffy art. Do you mean Gabriel Iglesias? He's kind of funny. There's this one Spanish comedian that she's pretty funny. I forgot her name though. Have you seen the animated videos with you and Asma? What? Somebody animated me and Asman? What? Where? When? Ugh, sorry. Comedy is objective, trust me, bro. I have a PhD. I trust you, stranger. Ah, hold on. Me liking certain comedy things, it all depends on my mood, you know what I mean? Because sometimes, oh god, you know what I used to find so funny? Have you guys ever watched Billy on the Street? That's just hilarious. With Billy Eichner. It's pretty fucking funny. What the fuck is that? It's a guy that he goes around the streets of New York, shoving a microphone in people's faces and asking strange questions. Like, he'll walk up to a woman and he'll be like, "Miss, for $1, name a woman." And she's like, "What?" He's like, "Name a woman! Name a woman!" And then she can't name a fucking woman. Woman. Yeah, he does yell a lot though. You know, he does yell a lot. That is true. I also like there was this show a long time ago. It was like something like I Like Whatever, and it like had like a bunch of stuff from like every decade and stuff. And there was a comedian that would come on there that I liked, that I thought was really funny, and his name was Paul F. Tompkins. I thought he was pretty funny. He was always pretty funny. Yeah, he seems like a really nice guy. What do you think of Bo Burnham? You've seen Paul many times, man. I wish I could see him. He's funny. Ah, Eric Andre. Unhinged. Yankovic? Is that the guy that sings, he does those parody songs? There was an insult comic that I thought was pretty funny. Don Rickles. He was a very roast kind of guy. Yeah, you know, it's funny because I only learned about him because I'm a huge fan of Bianca Del Rio, and I think she's hilarious. One of the most funniest queens ever. Her insults are so funny. She is so funny. And then they interviewed her and they asked her what were her comedic inspirations, and she said Don Rickles, and then I was like, I must Google this man and find out who this person is. And then I found out. I was like, whoa, this man is a burning machine. You knew you made it if Don Rickles made fun of you? Is that it? Is that true? Man, I know Bianca Del Rio's insults were, and people have tried, cause you know sometimes she says some insensitive as fuck shit. But you know, she likes to push the envelope. Triumph? Oh, are you talking about the insult dog? I think as a kid I thought it was funny. But then when you get older, you get it's like, okay, how many times is it gonna say for me to poop on before it's getting old? David Latour man. Will you be singing today? I don't know. Sea Dog is not a comedian, he's a fucking clown. What is it? Asmongold animation? Where is it? Oh my god, there's two of them. What? They're really short. But we're Lego people! There is lady balding.
Yeah.
Now, you know, it's
Well, I heard
stress
about
related.
that. Will Smith smacked the shit out of somebody for it.
Oh my god! You can't say that! What the fuck?
That's why I said, like, it makes sense that she fell in love with that dragon because he's the most attractive one.
Wait, really?
And everybody freaked out. Like they acted like I was some kind of a crazy person, but I wasn't wrong. Like I wasn't wrong at all. Like he was the most attractive one. Like, and I'm not saying it's a theoretical. I don't mean this for real. Like, but I'm just saying, like, if you had to, that would probably be number one.
Ah, that's so cute! Oh my god. That's so adorable, bro. I'm cute. I'm fucking cute as a fucking Lego. That's comedy. Comedy. Ironmouse Lego win? Bro, you're already getting an Android. Come on, guys. Come on, guys. Come on, guys. Yeah, Nendoroid. Mousy Lego set? Kyle? Thank you for the 5 gifted subs. Oh, let me check. I gotta check my Twizzler. I gotta check my Twizzler. What the fuck? What is this? Twizzler. Twiggler? Twitler. Twootler. Twatler. Oh god. I want to play Minecraft so bad. I spoke to boss yesterday. Minecraft Arc is almost here once again. It's almost Minecraft season. I think before we start on the new one, I'm gonna update my Minecraft, and then I think I'll do a stream where I go on the old server and just peruse around. One last time before we go into the next one. Will it be pink? I don't think I'm gonna use the pink resource pack that I always use. Only because I've been seeing other people use other resource packs and they look so pretty, and I'm like, damn, I want my shit to look pretty. I kinda don't want to use the pink anymore. Does that make sense? I know. If it's not pink, it's not... I've seen a couple that are so good though that I want to try. Oh god. I tried RL Craft. Holy shit, that's so hard. It's so hard. It's so hard. I'm gonna be honest, after about an hour I quit. She's changed. It's hell. It's so freaking hard. Autocraft sucks? Don't have to tell me twice. I am aware. I am aware. Minecraft texture. Something else. Yeah, let's go something else. Wow! We're changing. We're growing. We're growing and changing. Have you played Terraria? Yeah! I only like to play Terraria when I'm with friends, though. I don't like to play it by myself. That's not something that I like to do by myself. You know what I mean? That was a pretty fun game. I bought a couple... Alright, so I bought Iron Lung. I bought Iron Lung because people kept asking me to play it, so I bought it. Oh no? Iron Lung for an Iron Mouse? That's what they call me, bros. Iron Lung. Iron Lung. I'm gonna be honest, I don't understand the game. I tried watching Connor play it back when a long time ago when Subathon was going on. I don't understand the game. I don't understand. But I've seen videos on YouTube about it being like one of the scariest games ever, and I'm like, huh? How? Why? You know what other game I bought? Alright, I'll tell you what I bought. I bought Mafia 1, 2, and 3. I bought Deliver Us the Moon. I bought this game called... I can't play this on stream, but I kind of want to see if maybe I could play this on like Discord or somewhere else, or maybe like make a video and heavily censor it. I bought this game called Acting Lessons because I read all the reviews and everybody's like, "Oh my god, I came for the fapping, but I left for the story, the content. I stayed for the story. It was so emotional." And I'm like, I didn't know what the fuck this shit is about. Why is everybody saying that it's emotional? And then I bought a game that I never understood because my brother played it. And he would always tell me about this game. And then, it's called Myst. I want to play Myst. I don't know how to play it. Yeah. Critically acclaimed Myst. It's 10 gigabytes. And then I got this game called The Centennial Case. It's an FMV game. I don't know if I could play this on stream. I don't know if we could play FMVs on stream. I really wish we could, because I have so many FMV games that I really want to play on stream. And then I bought this game called Have a Nice Death, and I thought it looked cute. And then I bought I Run Long, and that was what I bought for the summer sale. Yeah, but Super Seducer got banned. I wonder what FMV games are not banned to play on stream. I gotta find out. Oh man, I can't wait till this game comes out. July 19th. Mark my words. July 19th, I'm playing this game on stream called Stray, and it's about you being a cat. You're a stray cat. I'm playing it on July 19th. Come rain or shine. I have to play that damn cat game. Oh, I also bought a game called Cult of the Lamb, but it doesn't come out till August. Ezekiel plays a bunch of FMV games? I gotta see which ones are not banned. Oh, you know what game I have installed? Hold on, let me check. I think I still have it installed. Oh yeah, I got all the I'm on observation duty games. I think there's like 4 of them. How long are those games? Did you play Her Story? No, I haven't played it yet. I need to buy it. I keep meaning to buy it to play it at another time, and I keep forgetting. Alright, I'm debating. I don't know how much of Stanley Parabolabulaba I have left. Is it? Do I have a lot? Enter the correct time. What? No. Thank you for actually setting the clock both times you booted up the game. You're welcome. A lot of people don't take that step seriously. They just leave the clock set at 12 and call it a day. What? But you're actually taking the time to set the clock, and I appreciate that. You're welcome. That's how I know that you care about this experience. You're paying attention. No! I don't even have any way of knowing if the times you're setting are correct. What? Wait a minute! Tell you what, I'll make you a deal. Since you've been so cooperative, next time you boot up the game and see the screen, just set the clock to your favorite time. Go ahead, pick whichever time you want, even if it's not the correct time. You've earned it. Alright, I'll let you get back to the video game now. I'll put it on 420, bro.
This is the story of a man named Stanley.
Wait.
Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was
already?
employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 4.
Welcome back. Guess who's back? Back again. Katie's back. Hello, friend. Guess who's back? 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 No, 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 no.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
I created a monster. No! Did I get the memo? There's a memo? I didn't get the memo. Ah, the new content!
Oh, good. You notice my sign. Yes, I have something very exciting to show you.
I love new content.
You see, Stanley, I've been reflecting on the Stanley Parable and about how roundly disappointing this ultra-deluxe version has turned out to be. The original Stanley Parable was a landmark, and any new content for it should live up to that legacy. So forget this ultra-deluxe nonsense. I say we take it one step even further. Which is why I'm very proud to announce for the first time ever, the Stanley Parable 2. This, you see, isn't this far superior to a measly re-release with a few minor additions? Think of all the new territory we'll cover with a fully fledged sequel. An entirely new experience, built from the ground up. Why, there are so many possibilities. It could go in so many different directions. This is what fans have truly been asking for. Calling it the Stanley Parable 2 is just so much catchier than Ultra Deluxe, don't you think?
I don't know.
Deluxe? What does it even mean? But the Stanley Parable 2, now that's an artistic statement right there. It's future-oriented. It screams progress and innovation and long-term franchising potential.
Jesus Christ, man. Get off my back. I'm just a girl.
Now, to be clear, I haven't quite nailed down what exactly the Stanley Parable 2 is going to be, but let's take a look at some of the features I've been developing for it.
Wow.
I figure that if I can loosely organize a handful of interesting concepts, that surely the game will sort of naturally spring up around them. It'll all work itself out. Game development is much more of a fuzzy magic than anything scientific or logical, really.
Really? Here we go. New features. New content. I want to go on the content bus. I'm excited. Don't disappoint me. I could have sworn we did this part already.
Here we are. Go on. Try out some of the new features.
Uh-oh, trapped. You did? Does that mean I have to keep on doing this over and over again? Forever? The button that says the name of the player that's playing the game.
For the Stanley Parable 2, I asked myself, what do players really want? And of course, the first and most obvious answer is that they want to be individually recognized and validated as people. So with that in mind, my first addition to the game is this button which speaks the name of the person playing the game. Isn't that wonderful?
Is this gonna dox me? No, I don't want you to know my name. I don't want to do it. No! No. Oh no, am I stuck in here? Oh no! Alright, I'm gonna mute the game, and I'm gonna... I'm gonna mute the game, and I'm gonna... Just to be safe, I'm gonna mute the game, because I'm paranoid.
Only says the name Jim.
I
But of
just got
course, in the
doxxed!
final game,
Oh,
this button will
God,
say
why would it
your
say
name,
my
whatever name that is.
name?
Here, let's have you roleplay as
No!
Jim to really simulate the full experience of this feature.
Oh, God!
Just play along. I promise you'll love it. Okay, here we go. Let's take a
God,
deep
no!
breath, clear your mind,
Oh,
forget
no,
whoever
what do I
you
do?
are,
Everybody
and
knows
simply
my name
become
now.
a person named Jim. I want you to imagine yourself living as Jim, sleeping and waking as Jim, falling in love and being heartbroken
If
as
my
Jim,
name was
seizing
Jim,
all of the world's
I'd have a big
possibilities as
cock.
Jim, and as Jim, watching your dreams crumble into dust. Do you feel it deeply? Are you really, truly Jim right now?
My name
If
is
so,
Jim.
then please step forward and press the button.
Jim, Jimmy, Jim, Jim.
Jim.
Oh
Yes,
my
you
God.
see? What a thrill, what a rush. That was you. The button described you. Do it again, do it again.
My name is Iron Jim.
Jim.
It hits even harder the second time. If this were the only new feature in the Stanley Parable 2, it would still be worth the money. Let's take a break from the Jim button. I'm too emotionally drained from all of this personal validation.
No one gives a shit about the Jim button.
I suppose I could allow only people named Jim to play the Stanley Parable 2. That would actually save me the work of finishing this feature. An epilogue would be fun, wouldn't it, Stanley? Yes, it would go at the end of the, well, we'll figure that out later.
What the fuck? A free achievement. Just for me. That guy looks like someone I know.
Now, here's something special. You remember that broken test achievement that got left in the game on accident?
I thought he was
well,
gonna say
I'm developing
testicle.
a technology to simply give you the achievement. Yes. You see, you'll come to this lever, and when you pull it, Okay, perhaps I should have clarified. This is technology that will exist. Right now, the achievement is still fully broken. I'm not a wizard, Stanley, but I guarantee it will be fixed in the sequel to at last satisfy the hordes of ravenous fans all over the world who have been uproariously demanding this feature. Gamers, we hear you, and I promise it will happen.
I hate this. You're ruining my life. You're ruining my life.
What else? What other exhibits haven't we seen yet?
To this guy? Collect them all? Oh, collectibles out of order. Jump circle? Well, thank you for the Billy.
You know what, Stanley? I actually think the jump circle was a pretty good idea. I'd like to hang on to that for the sequel.
Should I waste my jumps? No screenshots.
Okay, I'll be honest, I haven't yet decided on this one. I think that in the new version, the office could use a bit of decoration, like balloons. But I'm undecided on Get Well Someday and Happy 12th Birthday. Which would you go with? You know, sometimes when you solicit another person's opinion, it makes you realize that you knew which one you actually really wanted all along.
You fucker.
Happy 12th birthday, step-niece, it is.
What the fuck? Fuck off.
Or actually, maybe I should have gone with... No, I've made my decision. We're moving on.
Take a screenshot?
Come now, you've already made your choice. It's true that you chose badly, but we all have to move on from our mistakes.
How do I do a Steam screenshot? I don't think I've ever made a screenshot in Steam. F12? Alt F4? You should do that to your computer. Scam! Merch! This is dumb. Scan the QR code? Where is it at? Oh god, I'm scared. Where does it take me to? Oh, it takes me to their website? What? It takes me to their website. That's funny. Where's the infinite hole? Where's that smoke?
Stanley, here's an idea that I'm truly fond of. It's never been done before in a video game. This is, in fact, a hole that you can fall down forever. That's right. Infinite falling. You can fall until the end of time, if you like. A stunning leap forward for video games as a medium. You see, isn't it wonderful? One of my more ingenious concoctions, if I do say so. Now then, since you've gotten to see the infinite hole, you can press the teleport button to pop back up to the top, and we can continue onward.
Feels good.
Now, I don't mean to be a bummer, but I do recommend you use the teleport button to go back to the top. Maybe do it on the sooner rather than later spectrum of things.
Only falling.
Okay, Stanley. I don't know quite how to say this tactfully, but it's possible that I slightly exaggerated the infinite nature of the hole. Is it a very, very deep hole? To be certain it is. It's an extremely deep hole. I don't want anyone to say
Look how
that it isn't
small
an
opening
astonishingly
is.
deep hole. It is. Is it infinite?
Motherfucker.
Well, that sort of depends on your definition of infinity.
Fuck off.
From one perspective, the infinite is merely philosophical in nature. It's more of a... Okay, well, good for you. You found the bottom of the hole. You found me out, Stanley. I'm a liar and
to
a
me.
cheat, and you're so clever. Look, I think the issue here is just that you're unusually fascinated by
You
falling.
fucking
What
lied to
normal
me.
person actually wants to fall infinitely? I figured the hole was as deep as anyone would actually need. Don't you put this on me. Maybe you're the problem. Look, things got a little heated there. I think we both said some things we didn't mean. Why don't we just put all this behind us and agree to just call the hole mostly infinite? If that works for you, then go ahead and press the teleport button to warp up to the top of the hole and we can move on. I'll just be up here when you're ready. Great. Now, I'm very excited. Oh, for heaven. You see, I was right. The problem is you. The problem is that you like holes too much.
I love holes.
A normal person would have said, yep, that's an infinite hole right there. Goes on forever till the end of time. Don't need to see it all, but not you. Oh, no, 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 no. You have a weird sort of... Oh. Did the hole seem even shorter to you this time? I couldn't help but feel like you spent a little less time in there than you did before. I mean, admittedly, I didn't make an infinite hole, but I didn't think it was that not infinite. Well, I suppose once again there's nothing to do here. If you decide you've had enough of the hole, you can hit the teleport button and come join me up above. Had enough? I'm positively thrilled. Gosh, how could I have guessed? You're back in the hole. If this starts to become a thing where... Wow. Okay. Yes. I'm starting to become extremely certain that the hole is not only not infinite, but that it's growing steadily less and less infinite. I suspect that I'm starting to hit the point where it's no longer feasible to call the hole infinitely deep, even by the lax overall standards for accountability and marketing. What's going on here? Stanley, I have no explanation for the uncertain nature of the hole's length.
Listen.
Here, let's try something.
Sometimes
Let's
we want to
pop back
dive
up
into
to the
holes.
top,
Sometimes we
and we'll
don't
see
want
if
to
it
dive
gets
into
any
holes.
shorter.
It's our prerogative.
Well, there it is.
What?
The shame. How is this still appealing to you?
I want to be
I
in
know
the
you're
fucking
obsessed
hole.
with
I
holes,
like
but
holes.
at this depth, I just can't see this scratching the itch.
Alex,
Oh.
thank you for the fiddly.
Who am I to judge?
Oh, it's your birthday.
You just do
Happy
whatever it is you're
birthday.
here to do
Happy
and hit the
birthday,
teleport button
Alex.
when you're ready to move on. Is the, teleport
You
button not
broke it.
working?
You son of a bitch.
You sure? Well, I mean, I really don't have an explanation. It was working just a moment ago. Still nothing. Well, I suppose there is one thing I can do to fix this.
Do it.
I'm out. Goodbye, Stanley. You couldn't bear to be away from the hole, and now you'll get more time with it than you could ever have asked for. It's a
Fuck
win
off.
for everyone.
It
You
is
get
a
to
win
be
for
with
me.
the hole. I get to do literally anything else.
I want to be in the
Take care,
hole.
Stanley. I hope you and the hole have a wonderful rest of eternity together.
We will. And we were roommates. What's that noise? Whoa!
My head's stronger. No, you.
Den afslussen afslussen die var der stod for vel no way is no business ears that's in the
Stanley? Stanley? Stanley! Oh, good, you're awake. It seems you had sort of dozed off there, drifting away into dreamland.
Oh,
but we
man.
can't have that, Stanley.
I want to keep
because
going.
this hole is just so darn fascinating that I want you to be wide awake for every second of it. You don't want to miss a single moment. So how about if I just pop in from time to time and wake you up to keep you really, truly focused on the hole? From the looks of things, you and I will have many, many years here in this hole, and I'm looking forward to all of them. Stay alert, Stanley. I'll be back. Toodle-pip.
Toodle-pip. What? I'm back.
Here we are. Go on, try out some of the new features.
I kind of want to go back to the hole.
A common complaint of the Stanley Parable was that it was confusing and paradoxical, that it engendered a chaotic sense of reckless despair in those who played it. Well, I'm happy to say that after much consideration, I've engineered a clever solution to this fundamental problem with the game. It's the Stanley Parable Reassurance Bucket. You see, Stanley, anytime you're holding the bucket, a sense of calm and ease will fill your mind and
I
your
feel
heart.
calm.
It's true. As long as you hold on to the bucket, the many disorienting contradictions of the
Give me
Stanley
the
Parable
bucket.
will feel perfectly normal
me the
and
bucket.
perhaps even comforting. You may even come to long for the gentle embrace of jarring cognitive dissonance while the bucket is in your arms. And to be honest, it's a much more convenient solution for me than actually redesigning the game to be less uncomfortable. Can you imagine what a pain in the ass that would be? Yes, the bucket is the perfect solution. Come on, give it a try.
Oh, God.
Can you feel it? The glow of comfort, even in the face of crushing despair, must already be sweeping through your body. And in fact, can I say that I do believe the bucket lends you an air of charisma as well? I think that just holding it has made you the slightest bit more attractive as a person. The benefits of the bucket seem to
Get
go
all the
on and on, don't they? All this and more await you in the Stanley Parable 2. Does anyone give out awards for most enjoyable bucket in a video game? That really should be an award if it isn't already.
Well, what do I do now with the bucket? What do I do now? wanna go back to the hole. I can't go in. I can't go in the hole. No hole. Oh man. I wanted to go in the hole. How do I get up there? See, settings, world champion. That's a new thing there. It says that's new. Doesn't say. You have all your jumps? Oh, am I supposed to waste all my jumps? I'll waste my jumps. I'll waste my jumps. No problem. Thank you for the biddlies. Clockwork. Scrum, thank you for the biddlies. Yellen, thank you for the 8 months. I should check the settings. What's in the settings? There's nothing. Hey, I was just here. Where's the thingy? Oh god, I gotta peep. I gotta peep. Bear back, I'm gonna peep. around. Back to game. I don't know what else can be done with this fucking game. How do I get out of here? It's supposed to be this way. Exit. Keep clicking the button that says gym? No! Don't tell me what to do!
All right. Have you seen everything you wanted to? Ready
Yes.
to move on now?
Yes. Whoa.
So, Stanley, what do you think? Do you like all of the new features? Yes, I know it's not exactly clear yet how exactly these features will come together as one single
terrifying.
coherent video game, but I can feel it in my soul. It's going to work. There's definitely a good game in there somewhere. Say, let's do an experiment. I'll arrange these new features together, and we'll see whether or not it coheres into a meaningful gameplay experience. Okay, are you ready? Here it is. I give you the Stanley Parable 2.
The fuck?
Well, I mean, there's potential here, right? It's sort of... Okay, never mind. Hold on, let me do a different arrangement.
This is terrible.
Okay, yes, this is much better. I feel good about this. Here we go. Version 2. Who am I kidding, Stanley? This isn't a coherent video game at all. It's a lot of gags. And I do very much enjoy creating gags, but they don't add up to anything.
I enjoy goofs. I enjoy gags.
I wanted more than anything to create a sequel that would capture all the magic of the first game. I wanted fans to love it. No matter how good these gags are, they won't stand on their own. They would need the structure and the gameplay of the original. Wait, maybe that's it. I can take the original Stanley Parable and simply, well, insert a few of my new features into it. Tastefully, of course. With respect. With care for the vision and integrity of the original game. Would it possibly work? I suppose it could. But it would need a really, really tremendous title screen. A title screen that says with bold and uncompromising conviction, "This is the Stanley Parable 2. Let me see if I can whip something up. All right, perfect. Go ahead. Take a look.
What the fuck?
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big... But Stanley simply couldn't handle the pressure. What if he had to make a decision? What if a crucial outcome fell under his responsibility? He had never been trained for that. No. This couldn't go anywhere except badly.
Never.
The thing to do now, Stanley thought to himself, is to wait. Nothing will hurt me. Nothing will break me.
Nothing.
In here I can be happy forever. I will be happy. Stanley waited. Hours passed, then days. Had years gone by? He no longer had the ability to tell. But the one thing he knew for sure, beyond any doubt, was that if he waited long enough, the answers would come. Eventually, someday, they would arrive. Soon, very soon now, this will end. He will be spoken to. He will be told what to do. Now it's just a little bit closer.
Tell me.
Now it's even closer. Here it comes.
Yay, thank you so much for the 5 gifted subs.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
What
Stanley
could it
decided to
mean?
go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
I missed the memo. The bucket. I don't know. Should I take it?
Stanley picked up the bucket. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
I don't know.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? Was this better than the meeting room? Yes, Stanley thought to himself. Yes, no, never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room.
No, said the bucket. Don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift, yes. Go there. Go to the cargo lift.
Do not lie. If you are lying right now, stop.
Good, said the bucket. Now ride the lift all the way to the top. There's something up there I need you to do.
Stanley did not question why or how this bucket was speaking to him. It should have alarmed him, of course, because buckets can't talk. But Stanley chose not to think about this obvious fact. He was firmly convinced that the bucket had spoken to him, and he unthinkingly did whatever the bucket asked.
I am bucket.
No, stop. Look there on the wall. You see, there's a sign right there. It says, "No buckets past this point." Stanley, how could you think it was okay to bring the bucket here?
I wanted to bring it
What
here.
if the problem is that you actually don't know what is a bucket and what isn't a bucket? I suppose that would explain a lot about your behavior up to this point. Which, if that's true, well, my goodness, I think we have to do something about it. This misunderstanding could have dire consequences on the entire rest of the game if not addressed quickly and properly. So much of the impact of the story is dependent on your understanding of what is and isn't a bucket. Please, step in here for a moment.
No. 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 I don't want to go in there. It's dark.
Now then, I'm going to run you through some test scenarios, and you'll tell me whether or not the thing I'm showing you is a bucket. Simple enough, right? This should tell us everything we'll ever need to know about what is or is not a bucket. Okay, let's begin. Item 1. Is this a bucket? Correct. It is a hologram of a bucket, not an actual bucket.
You tricked me!
Item 2. Is this a bucket? Correct. It is a 3D printed recreation of a bucket, not an actual bucket.
No matter what I say, it's gonna be correct.
Item 3. Is this a bucket? Incorrect. This is a bucket. Item 4. Is this a bucket? Correct. This is a tractor and not a bucket. To be honest, I just sort of put this one in here as a gimme, but I was starting to get concerned that even this might be too much for you. Thank you for not making me look like an idiot. Okay, next one. Is this a bucket?
Is this a bucket?
Correct. This is a bucket.
No!
Item 6. Is this a bucket? Trick question. Both. Gotcha.
I don't like this guy.
Item... Wait, hold on. I can't find the next one. Let me see. It should be around here somewhere.
Fuck this guy. I'm trying to be a contrarian here.
Yes. Thank you. There's nothing here. Of course it isn't a bucket. We both know full well that nothing isn't a bucket. Wait, when I say nothing isn't a bucket, that makes it sound like I'm saying everything is a bucket, which of course is
Everything
not
is a
true.
bucket.
Unless... Is that what you think?
Yes.
Answer me straight, Stanley. Are you trying to tell me that you believe everything is a bucket? You know what? I'm too confused to even sort it out. I've lost all sense of perspective. What is a bucket? What isn't a bucket? Mere moments ago I could answer
We
these
are
questions
all
with
buckets.
confidence. And yet now I'm somewhat adrift. Do any of us know what a
Adrift.
bucket is?
Yes.
Am I a bucket?
I am a bucket.
Stanley, I can't keep doing this. I'm losing myself, and myself was all I ever had to begin with. I'm afraid the bucket is threatening to tear our relationship apart. I can't have that. I'm
There is
sorry.
only bucket.
But I'm going to erase all buckets from the game entirely.
No!
Okay, here we go. What happened? Is everything gone? Why did everything disappear? Wait, was everything a bucket?
Yeah!
Every single thing in the game was a bucket. Oh my God, I had no idea.
You piece of shit.
How could... Except me. I'm not a bucket after all.
Yes,
And you,
you're
Stanley,
trash.
you're still here. You're not a bucket either.
I am a
Oh,
bucket.
this is wonderful news. We're not buckets.
No.
Yes, I actually feel much more at ease right now. It's delightful to get some clarity on that issue, but it doesn't change the fact that
Cancel
we
this
haven't
man.
got a game. So, tell you what, I'll reset everything and we'll put back all of the buckets, okay? And we'll know that it's all a bucket. But if you run into anyone else, maybe don't mention that. Who knows what that information might do to a person? All right, here we go. All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. Stanley lifted the bucket into his arms, and a wave of comfort rushed over him.
I'll go the
Stanley
right way.
clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left. Still no one was here. Stanley needed the bucket's warmth and comfort now more than ever. Perhaps his boss's office was where he'd find answers. Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
Executive bathroom? Whoa.
You found one of them. One of the miniature Stanley figurines. Remember,
I got a
no
Stanley.
reward for collecting all of these, only the intrinsic pleasure of a job well done. You can't buy that sort of happiness, Stanley. God knows I've tried. So, I implore you to savor each and every moment you come across one of these beautiful figurines.
Extreme bathrooms. Because the boss knows that what the boss says goes, if the boss suffered losses, then that's what the boss chose. I see. I see clearly. I see very clearly today. Whoa. Ew, what is that? Business strategy? What does that have to do with the business strategy? What the fuck? What the fuck? I'm leaving.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Crushed by the weight of this revelation, Stanley may have broken down into an emotional dumpster fire if not for the soothing presence of the bucket. Even now, in his darkest of hours, did the bucket's warmth and guiding light pierce the dark clouds of confusion and chaos. It would be with him always. The bucket would, and he knew it. The two of them were inseparable. At this point, Stanley was so absorbed in the tender spiritual connection he shared with the bucket that he didn't notice the keypad behind the boss's desk. Nor in his bliss of simply being near the bucket did he have any notion that the PIN number for the keypad was 2845. But Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer luck. Was it that the bucket knew all along? Was the bucket guiding him? Yes, this is certainly the most logical explanation.
Oh! Another Stanley!
Another miniature Stanley figurine. This, there really must be a snappier name for these things. What about mini-stands? Stanley figs? Or what about Stanlerines? Yes, I think I like that. Another Stanlerine under your belt.
Give me all the Stanlerines you have. I'm going down.
The elevator raced downward, plummeting towards an unknown fate. It would be all Stanley could do to keep himself together, if not for the bucket. Soothing him, comforting him, reassuring that in this darkest moment of uncertainty, he would be all right. The bucket is here for you, Stanley. Everything will be fine.
Oh no.
Wait, Stanley said to the bucket. Can we go back up? When I was pressing those keypad buttons, there was something very intriguing about the number 3. I want to go back so I can try pressing the number 3 again. The bucket said nothing.
Leave?
Here we are, said Stanley. Now I'm going to try out that number 3 button. He took the bucket over to the keypad and began absolutely slamming on the number 3 over and over and over. Wow, he said. The number 3 is such a special button. I'm having the time of my life. Stanley looked expectantly at the bucket, but the bucket remained silent. This was a shock to Stanley, who had always felt such a connection with the bucket. How was this not as exciting to the bucket as it was to him? Once Stanley had had enough of the number 3, he got back in the elevator.
I'm pressing it. It's no use. Not even boob. Oh well.
Perhaps the bucket had missed something. Perhaps it had not seen how much joy Stanley got from slamming the number 3 repeatedly. No, said Stanley to the bucket. You can't go on yet. Not till you understand how much the number 3 means to me. You and I have been through so much together, and I just want you to see what I see. Feel the happiness I feel. He smiled at the bucket, and the bucket said nothing.
I need to make the bucket understand. The importance of 3.
Here we go, said Stanley. This time I'll really show you. He ran to the number 3 and began to wail on it like a musician on a beloved instrument, weaving a concerto of truth and passion. He wielded the number 3 like a fine artist would wield a paintbrush. He told stories through the number 3, stories of his dreams and hopes and fears, and the whole time he looked to his bucket for a reaction of some kind. Anything to let him know that the bucket appreciated what he was doing. The bucket conveyed absolutely nothing at all, only silence. Crushed by a wave of dejection, Stanley returned to the elevator. Stanley and the bucket were so close. They'd always been there for one another. Why suddenly could the bucket not connect with this passion of Stanley's? The question caused Stanley to ruminate the whole way down the elevator. He knew that there must be a way to get through to the bucket, to communicate fully with his dear friend. Surely there was a solution, mustn't there be? Said Stanley. I know what to do. I know how to fully express this feeling in my heart. He decided right then and there that he would hold a press conference where he would speak to the public on all matters relating to pressing the number 3 over and over. He would elaborate fully on what the number 3 meant to him and why he felt so alive when pressing it. Then the bucket would be able to see his joy through the eyes of others. It would get to see the world react to this discovery of Stanley's. And it would be through the public eye that the bucket would finally understand Stanley's work.
Oh my God.
For months, he advertised and marketed his press conference, building excitement around it, developing and rehearsing it, until it couldn't be refined a single measure further. When the big day arrived, Stanley was as prepared as he'd ever been for anything in his life.
It could hurt. It could hurt. It could hurt.
This was it. One last chance to win the bucket over. One opportunity to share a true connection with a loved one.
Remember where you came from? 3 again. 3 again. 3, 3, 3. The dude who came up with pizza? Doing great.
There was no one here. Nobody had come to the press conference to hear Stanley speak, to listen to him talk about what it really means to press the number 3 on a keypad over and over. He was unloved, uninteresting, he was a failure, and in that moment Stanley knew that the bucket would never again take him seriously. There would be no connection, no deeper understanding. The bucket merely sat there in his arms, indifferent. And so it began that slowly, over many years, the two of them grew more and more distant. They spoke less and less, neither wishing to state the obvious, that any sense of real respect between them had eroded since that day at the press conference. there would be no more games, no more long conversations about passion and pursuit, only a silence that consumed the space between friends. And Stanley, having for once in his life discovered the warmth and comfort of true companionship, was cast back into the unremarkable normalcy of loneliness.
What the fuck? What? Story of my life.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Frustrated.
The confusion and the chaos all seemed to melt away as Stanley embraced the bucket.
Look at your bag. Look at your bag. Your big bucket.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
Construct bridge to allow collection of shiny float. Retrieve Carissa's remains from the warehouse. What? A large room, lots of boxes. They just tell us something will happen. This investigation, this room, they feel pointless, to be honest. Shut the frick up!
Oh, Stanley, can you feel it? The broom closet. It wants the bucket. You can feel that, can't you? The aura of jealousy? It's as clear as day. This broom closet believes it deserves the bucket. I can really feel it now. It's a bucket. It belongs in a broom closet. That's what the broom closet is trying to say here. It's supposed to go with the other cleaning supplies. Good for you, Stanley. Don't give in. Don't hand over the bucket. I know how hard it must be, given the pressure that the broom closet is putting on your shoulders right now, but you have to be strong. This is your bucket. This is your companion and lifelong friend. You can't hand it over. Oh, no. We're getting into name-calling now, it seems. Is this how low the broom closet has sunk, that it has to resort to this stream of petty insults simply in order to get you to hand over the bucket? Stanley, I never liked this broom closet for a variety of reasons, but even this is worse than I had imagined. And wait. Now the broom closet has the gall to imply that you and the bucket are not truly deep and lasting friends?
What?
That your relationship is purely superficial and convenient? that your life is so banal and meaningless that you'd feel the same sort of kinship towards any inanimate object which happened to lay in your path in an even partially enticing manner? Well, I've never. Go on, Stanley. Lay into it. Really tell the broom closet off for its demeaning comments. Expand on the wide variety of experiences you and the bucket have shared together. Go through each of them point by point. Share your journal entries detailing the rich emotional landscape of your feelings for the bucket as they have changed and evolved over the years. Let him have it.
You piece of shit!
Okay, I've got you something which I think will help settle this debate once and for all. Here we go. There. Now it's settled. No more debate, no more discussion. Take a hike, broom closet, with all your meandering philosophical diatribes about the nature of cleaning supplies and their relationship to broom closets in the natural order of things.
That's right.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
Money in the morning, money in the evening, money for breakfast, money, crisp! What? What that mean?
May have broken down into an emotional dumpster fire if not for the soothing presence of the bucket. Even now, in his darkest of hours, did the bucket's warmth and guiding light pierce the dark clouds of confusion and chaos. It would be with him always.
Always,
The bucket would.
Always.
And he
always.
knew it. The two of them were inseparable. At this point, Stanley was so absorbed in the tender spiritual connection he shared with the bucket that he didn't notice the keypad behind the boss's desk. Nor in his bliss of simply being near the bucket did he have any notion that the PIN number for the keypad was 2845. Stanley just sat around twiddling his thumbs. Trying to input anything on the device was useless, since he could never possibly know that the combination was 2845. 2845. But Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer luck. Was it that the bucket knew all along? Was the bucket guiding him? Yes, this is certainly the most logical explanation.
Pussy, 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 marijuana, wanna. Smoke weed every day.
Stanley and the bucket walked straight ahead through the large door that read, Mind Control Facility. The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens.
Whoa.
What horrible secret did this place hold?
Television
Stanley and the
screens.
bucket both wondered to themselves. The monitors jumped to life, and Stanley nearly dropped the bucket in shock. Everyone in the office was being videotaped, monitored like guinea pigs. The bucket had never seen anything like this, and it very nearly burst into tears as Stanley cradled it gently, reassuring it that everything would be fine.
What?
Was the bucket under the mind control facility's influence as well? Had the bucket been told to do things it didn't wish to do? What kinds of things does a bucket want to do or not want to do in the first place? These questions raced furiously in Stanley's feeble mind. No! He screamed into the bucket. He couldn't accept it.
No!
His own life in someone else's control, never! He squeezed the bucket tighter, his one friend in the entire world. At this point, he could trust no one except for the bucket. But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions, happy or sad or content. Walking, eating, working, all of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he and the bucket would dismantle the controls for good. Two best friends, Stanley and the bucket, up against the world. They high-fived in a really cool way, and the bucket made a sassy comment about taking down the system.
Says who? You? I don't recall ever agreeing to this. Disabled. Ugh. I'm gonna marry tonight.
When at last they came to the source of the room's power, Stanley and the bucket knew it was their obligation to put an end to this horrible place and to everything it stood for. Stanley and the bucket waited in blackness. Was it over? Yes, they had done it. Stanley and the bucket had defeated their greatest and darkest enemy, freed themselves from the tyrannical grip of the evil mind control machine. Freedom was now mere moments away. Excitedly, the two of them began to discuss the kind of life they wanted to live once they stepped through this massive door. The bucket wanted to learn to roller skate. Stanley wanted to sneeze in every country on Earth. Both of them wanted to begin watching a movie, any movie, but then stop it halfway through and begin watching it in reverse from the end. True, it was a simple life they envisioned, but it was one they'd lived together, with one another to lean on, to trust, to support, and
Wait, what was happening? Why had the door stopped? Was Stanley and the bucket not about to be freed? An unbearable silence filled the room, lingering in uncertainty. Until finally the truth hit Stanley square in the face. This building did not want the bucket to leave. Even the facility itself recognized the incredible calming presence of the bucket, needed the soothing warmth of the bucket, will go to any lengths not to part with the bucket. No. Stanley can't leave this place. Not while he has such a precious bucket in his arms. Not while this building has anything to say about it. Stanley realized he would never again leave this very room. But at least he has the bucket. To be trapped eternally in darkness isn't really so bad, Stanley thought to himself. As long as I have my bucket with me, right? I'll be okay, won't I? Stanley gulped. Very soon now, he was about to find out.
What? Wait. The phone is ringing.
Hello. This is a recorded message scheduled either by you or a person in your place of work. The purpose of this message is to warn you about the dangers of recorded messages. If at any time you believe you are listening to a recorded message, please terminate it immediately and cease all flow of information from the recorded message into your perceptual sphere. Thank you, and have a pleasant day.
Oops. $4.30.
Oh, please. Are you really just doing this for the achievement?
Yeah.
Click a door 5 times. Is that all that you think an achievement is worth? No. I can't just give these merits away for such little effort. A measly 5 clicks. Now suppose you were to click the door 20 times. I would say that's the kind of effort that warrants recognition. I have to say, I'm still not feeling the satisfaction of witnessing true effort for a noble cause. Perhaps 50 clicks will do it. Yes, almost certainly 50 clicks. No, I'm still not feeling it. I want this achievement to have meant something. It has to be a true reward for valiant effort. I want to see some hustle, Stanley. I want to see commitment, a willingness to go all the way, no matter what the cost. Why don't you go put 20 clicks into door number 417? Oh, great. Now, go click a few times on door 437.
You are playing with me and I know it.
Warmth spread through Stanley's arms. With the bucket in his arms again, he was home. Yes, now we're getting somewhere. How about door 415? Give it some bucket love.
Now back to door number 437.
Hate this man. This is a trick, I know it.
You know, I think the copy machine needs some attention. Why don't you rub the bucket on it a bit?
I'm gonna rub my ass on your face.
All right, back to room 417. I'm really feeling it now. I think we're getting somewhere. Okay, now bring the bucket on top of employee 419's desk.
Okay.
Yes, this is great. Now the bucket knows exactly what it's like to be employee 419. Now, let's introduce it to door 416.
Oh my god.
We've almost got it. Now make the bucket and the copy machine touch again.
What is this raid? What is this raid that I have received? Mr. Mysterious. A raid from one of my favorite people. Mysta, thank you for the raid. I had so much fun playing. Oh, fuck, where was I supposed to go? I had so much fun playing with you today. Hello, we're playing Stanley Parababa. Hello, hello everyone. Hello. Double raid? Wait, what? Wait, is it a double raid for real? Shy Lily too? What? You guys. Lily, thank you for the raid. Mysta,
Finish it off, Stanley. 5 touches of the
Hope you
bucket
guys had
on
wonderful
door
streams.
430.
Mysta, thank you for playing games with me. I had so much fun playing with you.
We did it! Wow! That felt amazing.
This was all for no reason.
Not
huh?
all buckets will get this kind of experience. They won't all know what it's like to slam repeatedly against nearly every door in one section of an office building.
played
or
with
what it's like to be
me!
employee 419. Buckets may dream of an experience like this, but few can say they've truly lived it. You've given a bucket hope today.
You
Stanley,
son of a bitch.
I'm very proud of you.
You played with my emotions. You made me run around the whole office. I ran around this whole office for what? No reason. No reason. I got an achievement? I didn't see if I did. Alright, let's get out of here. Let's skedaddle.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
I don't know. I kind of want to go back. Don't pick a door. I'll pick a door. I'm gonna go. I wanna go in here, but instead of going in the boss's office.
All right, I've got a second sticker back here, and I'm going to slap it on as well because I think
Give it
it's
to me.
appropriate. You see?
Look, a
I
sticker.
feel that it works because the sticker is also a bucket.
Yeah.
That way, if you're ever unsure whether the thing you're holding is a bucket or not, you can look down at this sticker and say to yourself, it's a bucket.
it's a
Coming to a
bucket.
staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
Going to the boss. Gonna go see the boss. Haha, psych, I'm not gonna see the freaking boss. I'm going in the elevator. Whoa! No, what is is he humming? What the fuck? I was tricked! They tricked me! They tricked me! What does he say? He doesn't say anything. I was tricked. Duped, if you will. Stooped, if you will.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Crushed by the weight of this revelation, Stanley may have broken down into an emotional dumpster fire if not for the soothing presence of the bucket.
Oh.
Even now, in his darkest of hours, did the bucket's warmth and guiding light pierce the dark clouds of confusion and chaos. It would be with him always.
Stupid
The
bucket,
bucket
think
would.
I need him.
And he knew it.
Stupid
The two of
bucket
them
think
were
I need 'em.
inseparable. At this point,
I go
Stanley
red
was so
like a
absorbed in the
demon. I go
tender
for no
spiritual
memories.
connection he
Stupid
shared with the
bucket think I
bucket
need 'em.
that he didn't notice the keypad behind the boss's desk. Nor in his bliss of simply being near the bucket did he have any notion that the pin number for the keypad was 2845.
8.
8!
Stanley just sat around twiddling his thumbs. Trying to input anything on the device was useless, since he could never possibly know that the combination was 2. But Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer luck. Was it that the bucket knew all along? Was the bucket guiding him? Yes, this is certainly the most logical explanation. On it,
Okay, we're
the
running
truth
away.
was that at the end of this hall, Stanley and the bucket would both meet a violent death.
I don't believe. I'm gonna live. I'm gonna live forever.
The door behind them was not shut. Stanley and the bucket still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track. At this point, Stanley and the bucket were knowingly walking forward into a very painful death for
Oh
each
my
of
god, I
them.
can't wait for my painful death. Bring it on, baby. Hey. Give it to me. Give it to me, baby. Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun, dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun. Woo! Woo! Oh my god.
As the machine whirred into motion and Stanley and the bucket inched closer to their demise, Stanley reflected on how meaningless the bucket's warmth and comfort had turned out to be. To be sure, it puts the mind and the soul at ease to embrace the bucket, but what use is a sense of ease when you're about to be crushed to death? This is what Stanley thought to himself, and he sort of kicked himself for wasting so much time carrying a bucket everywhere. Farewell, Stanley.
Farewell.
Farewell, Stanley, cried the narrator, as Stanley and the bucket were led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws. In a single visceral instant, the bucket's life came to an end as it was crushed violently to death.
Whoa.
It was a shame, the death of such a magnificent bucket. It's true that all buckets are radiant in their own way, but this one stood above the rest. It was a glorious bucket to behold.
Yeah. The bucket welcomes you to the grand exhibit. You are standing at the precipice of knowledge. Much like a bucket itself, the human mind is frequently empty within. I can't read all that shit. What do I look like, a scholar?
Can you see how arrogant it was for Stanley to take a bucket like this and to claim it for his own? Can you see the hubris that blinded him? Can you see that the bucket is far more noble than Stanley will ever be in his short life?
No. Oh, an ode to buckets. What an intriguing exhibit. Oh, primitive bucket. Infernal bucket.
No man can own a bucket, and certainly not a bucket as dazzling to behold as this one. It is man who should kneel before the bucket.
Kneel before the bucket. Ah.
But there is something we can do. Something we can do together, you and I, that will right this terrible wrong. Let Stanley die. Let him be crushed by the machine. Don't reset the game. Don't give him another opportunity to run off with another beautiful bucket. We can save the world's buckets from their treatment as tools and implements if only we let Stanley die together. The bucket shall take its place as ruler, as leader, as commander of a new world, a new vision.
Uh-oh.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Stanley.
Stanley picked up the bucket and smiled. Stanley pressed the bucket upon every little thing in the office. Nothing responded to the bucket's touch, but it did little to discourage Stanley's belief in the magic of the bucket. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
close the game and reopen it?
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. The meeting room. Yes, that's where everyone would be. Stanley just needed to get to the meeting room, the good old bucket. Just Stanley and the bucket, off on another thrilling
This
adventure
man
together.
hates me. I already know. He doesn't like me. He hates the fact that everything I do is against what he tells me to do.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
Large room, stairs, somewhere both red and blue.
Stanley, we must move on from this broom closet,
Shadow!
simply because I have no remaining stickers. Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office. Okay, I'm going back to the name of these little Stanley figurines, and now I'm torn between Stanlerines and Figlies. What do you think, Stanley? What name better encapsulates the intrinsic sense of happiness that you get from seeing a small number in the corner of your screen go up by 1? Let me sit on it. I'm sure it will come to me.
Fiddlerines. Fiddlies.
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss, admitting he had left his post during work hours. He might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. He looked down at the bucket in his
Maybe I
arms. Am I crazy? He asked the bucket. The bucket returned his gaze, but said nothing at all. That's strange, Stanley thought. Usually the bucket is a source of guidance and wisdom for me in difficult times such as these. He held the bucket close, yet felt none of its familiar reassurance and comfort. And that's when Stanley realized, this isn't my bucket. It's just a normal, everyday bucket. Someone else's bucket, perhaps. How did I end up with someone else's bucket? This is all terribly wrong. Surely no good would come from this. Who knows what sorts of bizarre hallucinations Stanley might experience without the psychologically grounding presence of his bucket. And indeed, now he noticed that the rooms were repeating, which was, of course, very odd. Now he felt himself floating off the ground. Oh, gracious, he exclaimed. Without my bucket, I've gone truly mad. Where is it? I must find it. Far off in the distance now, he heard it, calling to him. Stanley! Stanley, it's me, the bucket. Could it truly be? He rushed forward from room to room, passing by one bucket after the next. None of them were his. None of them were his special bucket. Come to me, Stanley. Find me. He had to find the bucket. He had to return to his old friend. It was the only way to truly restore his sanity. And then suddenly, he froze dead in his tracks. He knew where the voice of the bucket had been coming from. The real bucket was inside of him all along. It was incredibly painful. Stanley doubled over in agony and blacked out.
What the fuck?
This is the story of a woman named Mariella. Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, picked up her bucket of comfort and security, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town, talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. Right away, she knew what the problem was. This man had no bucket. Of course he'd gone mad.
ranting and raving about a narrator describing all of his actions
dead.
and how everything is predetermined and free will is an illusion and it's all just a video game. It could all have been prevented if only he'd taken his bucket with him. Perhaps he didn't even realize he'd forgotten his bucket at home in the first place. How cruel the world can be, Mariella thought, and she hugged her own bucket even tighter. But of course, she had no time for this. There were a myriad of confusing problems she would soon have to confront at work, for which her bucket would provide absolute guidance and total clarity on everything. Heck yes, she thought to herself, my life kicks ass. And she backflipped all the way to work.
What the fuck? She backflipped all the way to work? Wow. Incredible.
Stanley had never seen the office this brightly lit. Was it a sign of something? He hoped it was. He hoped very much that it was.
Where are we going today? The bucket asked. Stanley just smiled.
Anywhere they went together would be perfectly fine.
How many achievements have... I've only done 5 achievements? What the fuck? That's true. 4:20 p.m. My favorite time of day. Or you could simply not resist giving me the correct time. After all, I know how much I legit questioned what time it was right now. Another, how accurate? Let's use another slider to find out. I mean, it's probably 4:20 somewhere. You're having a great time, huh? I feel like I'm learning more about you and how you like things to be set. It's good to collect data. I wish we had more sliders, but we've gone through all the sliders I have. Perhaps I can invent some new sliders to gather new data on you. Shouldn't be too hard. Yeah, let me whip a couple new ones up. Should be ready by the next time you boot up the game. What? No time again? No time anymore? Please adjust the slider until number 5 becomes a number 9. Please adjust the slider until you stop adjusting the slider. Which of the two made-up words below is the most appealing? Occuboinkle or Scrumtush? Scrumtush! Please don't adjust the slider. Do you know what time it is right now? Yes. Is the time that it is right now the correct time? No. What is time anyway? Yes. Is there anything about yourself that you haven't told me? Yes. Help. No. Will you come back to visit me? No. No. No.
This is the story of a man named Stanley.
Uncle Stanley. No. Never coming back.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed
A good bucket, a strong bucket, a humble bucket, a committed bucket, a bucket of culture and distinction.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be.
Employee lounge.
And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? Was this better than the meeting room? Yes, Stanley thought to himself. Yes, perhaps it truly was. How insightful the bucket turned out to be.
Was attracted to me now.
No, never mind. The bucket was wrong.
The bucket was
Stanley
never
took
wrong.
the door on his left
He's
to go
never,
back to the
ever
meeting room.
wrong.
And so the two of them detoured through the maintenance section and walked straight ahead to the opposite door.
Dun, 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 dun.
Oh, good Stanley, I'm glad you found your way here. I knew you'd find this place eventually.
Whoa, what the heck?
You see, your friends and I are concerned for you, Stanley. We've come together here because we care about you very much. It's this bucket you're carrying around everywhere. The bucket isn't even from the original Stanley Parable. It's just sequel content. We're the ones that matter, Stanley. Classic characters from the first game, like the Adventure Line and the Broom Closet. Because that's what fans want from a sequel. They want more of their favorite jokes, not this bucket that they've never seen before.
Shut the fuck
Yes,
up.
I know I'm the one who gave you the bucket, but you're spending too much time with it. Don't you want another story involving the Adventure Line? We could make the Adventure Line go somewhere new. Yes, yes, that's what the fans want. Let's... Whee! Look at that wacky line. Who knows where it'll go off to next? Oh, and it played some silly music as well. Now this is what the Stanley Parable is all about. Don't you remember all those great jokes from the original dialogue? Also, Stanley is addicted to drugs and hookers. Yes, it's as classic now as it was back then. Let's do it for the fans, Stanley. Let's give them more content exactly like this. But if we want to do that, you're going to have to give something up.
Hookahs? I better not be the bucket, because if it is, I'll quit.
Don't you get it, Stanley?
No.
We need to get rid of the bucket.
No.
That's why I'm very proud to introduce a brand new character.
Oh,
This is the Bucket Destroyer. I think it'll make a wonderful new addition to the rich lore of the Stanley Parable. True, it also was not in the original game, but it's such a well-fleshed-out character with so much personality that to me, it already feels as though it's been part of the cast all along. Don't you agree?
No.
Can you guess what the Bucket Destroyer does? Surely you don't need me to spell it out for you. Go ahead now, Stanley. Say goodbye to the bucket, and then pop it into the machine when you're ready. Now listen to me. It's crucial that you give it the bucket. I don't know what the Bucket Destroyer will do if it can't destroy your bucket. Destroying buckets is all it knows. That is its singular personality trait. Sure, I can hear you saying, how does a character with only one personality trait deserve to join the pantheon of beloved Stanley Parable characters? Well, you see, if you were to really explore the Bucket Destroyer, you would see that its desire to crush buckets is so densely loaded with complexity and nuance that it's really like 10 personality traits. What other object in this game can you even say that about? The broom closet? Certainly not. I wonder what sort of Bucket Destroyer merchandise the fans will be clamoring for after this. Okay, the Bucket Destroyer is getting very upset now. You'll have to hurry and feed it. We can't get back to the classic Stanley Parable characters like the Adventure Line or the Bucket Destroyer until you crush that damn bucket. Quickly now, the fans are waiting. Do it, the fans, Stanley. Give the fans what they want. Hurry and... The Bucket Destroyer, my prized creation. You had so much potential. We were going to do such marvelous things with you, tell such spellbinding stories about you. All of it squandered now. Goodbye, new friend. For the moment in time that you were here, you were magnificent.
Bye. My friend. Oyasumi nasai.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
I missed Mama.
Ah, the embrace of an old friend. A weathered companionship that stands the test of time.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? Was this... No, never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room.
Oh.
No, said the bucket. Don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift, yes. Good, said the bucket. Now ride the lift all the way to the top. There's something up there I need you to do.
The collectible.
Stanley did not question why or how this bucket was speaking to him. It should have alarmed him, of course, because buckets can't. But Stanley feared that any path he walked might lead to the separation of himself and the bucket, his dearest friend. So he threw himself to his death, that they might die in one another's arms. How deeply touching.
I want to get the collectible.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had... The bucket made Stanley want to be a better man and a better co-worker.
I am a better man.
In time, perhaps, he would become both of those things. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? Was this... No, never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room.
No, said the bucket.
No.
Don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else.
Go to
the
the
cargo
meeting
lift,
room.
yes. Go there. Go to the cargo lift.
No. Don't go to the meeting room. How do I get over there? Ramp? Whoa.
You're getting close now, Stanley. You've nearly gotten all of the Figler and Marines. Very soon, you'll collect the last one, and then the first number will equal the second number, and that will be it.
Yay!
We'll be different people by then. Different in the sense that we used to have none of them, and now we have them all. You can't go back to when you had no Figler and Marines. None of us can.
Figler and Marines? Thank you for the biddlies. Whoa. Whoa. What? I've never seen this place. Whoa. Narrator dialogue? Is this his room? Is this where the narrator is? Is this a special place?
Okay, this is day number 295. Tape number... I don't even know. I've lost track. Nothing feels real anymore. The longer I study this bucket, the less sense anything makes. The sheer euphoria I feel every time I pick it up. No matter how many times I've done it, it's always the same feeling. And the emptiness in my chest when I set it down. It doesn't make sense. There's no explanation for it. I still haven't figured out why I see the world so differently when this bucket is in my arms. Why everything feels so...
Is he jerking off?
What do I do with this treasure?
I'm jerking off right here.
I can monetize it.
No, you can't monetize a bucket.
It's unthinkable the amounts of money people will pay for even just an hour with the bucket. This is my golden ticket. But I have to be careful, because as soon as this gets out, there's going to be a target on my back. Even now, I don't know who might be trying to get... What's that? Who's there?
What the fuck? Portada? Contemporada.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had...
Not everyone is so lucky to have a bucket, but Stanley is a very lucky fellow. Very lucky indeed.
Very
Stanley
lucky
clutched the
indeed.
bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
Somewhere both red and blue. Somewhere both red and blue. Where could that be?
Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office. But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss, admitting he had left his post during work hours. He might be fired for that. And in such a competitive... All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
What the?
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors,
What the
he
fuck?
entered the door on his left. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Standing now in this incredible room, Stanley for the first time, but eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left. Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Jump? Jump on the bridge?
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult,
Yeah,
but the
yeah.
fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten.
What? Really?
Yeah.
I was in the middle of something. Do you have
Really?
zero consideration for others? Are you that convinced that I want something bad to happen to you? Why, I don't know how to convince you of this, but I really do want to help you, to show you something beautiful. Look, let me
No.
prove it. Let me prove that I'm
I
on your
almost
side.
missed.
Give me a chance.
Give me a chance.
Now listen carefully, this is important. Stanley walked through the red door.
And there it is. The last Stiggly Wiggly. Savor this moment, Stanley. This is a real accomplishment. This is doing something just for the sake of doing it. Where so many people expect to be rewarded for the most trivial achievements, you've insisted that a job well done is its own reward. I would tell you that I'm proud of you for collecting them all, but that would be like a reward, and we can't have that. So, instead I'll just say, it's done. We're all done here. And now we can go to whatever the hell you were doing before you hunted for figurines.
Clapping my ass cheeks. Where do I go now? Beep, 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 beep.
Aha, perhaps you misunderstood. Stanley walked through the red door. I still don't think we're communicating properly. Stanley walked through... All right, fine, go ahead, Stanley. You want to know so badly what's out there? You want to find out what lies at the end of this road you've chosen? Well, don't let me stop you. You see? There's nothing here. I haven't even finished building this section of the map because you were never supposed to be here in the first place. Broken rooms, exposed developer tech...
How many? Cool.
Stanley, I'm sorry, but I have to put a pause on things. It's those figurines. Those figglers. I haven't stopped thinking about them since you nabbed every last one. Wasn't it just the most intrinsically fulfilling moment of your entire life? Didn't it fill you to the brim with inner richness? Yes, I know we're supposed to be telling a story, but won't you please indulge me with one more trip back to the memory zone? I would love nothing more than to revisit the figurines. Just one more time.
I remember this place. Zone, sweet zone. Good times.
Here's where it all began. The first collectible. Back then, we had no idea of how many of them we'd find. Sure, it said 6 right there on the screen, but how could we know for certain? We were so innocent.
Whoa.
We'll never be like that again, Stanley.
Oh my god, this is terrifying. What the fuck? $706. Whoa.
And here was a second Stanlerine. You found this one all on your own, just by poking around in the boss's bathroom. You did that, Stanley. I'll be honest. Back then, I had no faith in you to find any of them, let alone 6. But you continue to surprise me in all sorts of mundane, unremarkable ways. Okay, let's do a little quiz. Which of these rooms was the room you found your third mini-Stan? Can you remember?
Under the stairs. Wait, was it in the boss's office or under the stairs? I thought it was in... It was under the stairs.
No, 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 no. Under the stairs was the fourth place you found a Stanley, not the third. Well, I guess perhaps I shouldn't be surprised. Memories like these are so precious and so cherished that they all just sort of blend together, don't they? You know what? If under the stairs feels like the third place you found a collectible, then who am I to go making judgments? Let's see, what came next? Oh yes, we found a Figley in this pink room. Oh well, I can't actually say I remember being in this room, but it's here in the memory zone, so it must have happened.
What?
This was the fifth mini-stand, and this one was really something special. It was in the warehouse. I remember it so clearly.
Holy shit.
In fact, because this one is particularly special to me, I made a little video to commemorate the occasion. Enjoy.
What the
Takes you back, doesn't it? I spent a lot of time making that video, but it was 8 minutes I wouldn't have spent on anything else.
Okay.
And then, Stanley, then we came to the last collectible, the final figurine, right here by the red and blue doors. This memory is the most distinct and clear in my mind, perhaps because it was the one that happened more recently than all the others. Who can truly say how the mind works? All I know is that this is the moment where you picked up a Figley and I thought to myself, yes, that's all of them. They're all collected. It was a moment unlike any other. Except for the other moments picking up figurines, which it was exactly like.
Doesn't matter which door. Well, you're in the present.
And then there was
Oh,
no
no.
more. Because we've caught up to the present moment. Nothing left to do but move onward into the future. Goodbye, Memory Zone.
What?
No, I'm not done. I'm not ready to move on. Stop the loading screen. Isn't there some way we can stay here, keep enjoying these figurines? Let's just go backwards. We'll do the Memory Zone again from the opposite direction. See how that feels.
You were in the...
Okay, yes, the room with the red and blue doors. I remember this. I must say, of all the figurines we looked at in our initial tour of the memory zone, this one is the most distinct and clear in my mind. Let's keep going. I want more.
Oh, God. I don't like this. Headed off to my doom.
And here's where I made that video. Don't you remember the video we watched?
Yes, I remember the video. I said I remember the fucking video!
Yes, I love that video.
God damn it! I don't need to watch it again. You didn't have to play it again, motherfucker. God damn, get off my ass.
Still don't remember the pink room, Stanley. Still no memory of this
Bruh,
one. Good room, though. A solid room.
Listen. This is a room you probably made up all by yourself. I didn't do it. Uh-oh.
These really were a treat to hunt down. You know, if there had been any kind of reward for finding all of these, it really would have muted the intrinsic joy of collecting them. I'm very glad we resisted the temptation. Next one.
Ugh. What happens if I go to the boss's office? Oh, nothing. Nothing happens.
This was our second Figley. Don't you remember? Yes, I remember it too. The past is truly a wonderful thing. Why does anyone ever choose to leave it? Keep going. This is it. The very first one we found in the exhibit where I introduced you to the figurines. Oh, I want more memories, Stanley. I want to keep going. What else is there? What came before this?
Don't know. Everything. Collect them all. Can you find them all? Collectibles. Whoa.
Look, it's the terrible new content that we were originally sold on. I remember hating it back then, but time does put a rosy filter on everything. In fact, I dare say I'm actually quite fond of it now. Look how much fun the past is. I want more. More memories. Oh, yes, the two doors. Who could have forgotten that? A classic memory, this one. And before everything else, there was your office. Is there anything else? Was there something that came before your office? There's something I feel I can remember. I can remember. Yes, I'm remembering something now. I remember before this whole story got started. Back then I was different. I used to make big decisions. I was passionate. I was skeptical. I weighed each decision with profound thoughtfulness. And then somewhere along the way, I stopped making decisions. I became lazy. And I came up with a character named Stanley to do my thinking for me. He would make the decisions. He would decide which way to go. I would cheer him on as he collected figurines for no reason. Why did I invent Stanley? Was I lonely? Yes, perhaps that's it. Perhaps I needed to imagine I had companionship. And Stanley really did make for a wonderful companion, even if he was a fiction. But I suppose it's grown old. I want to think for myself again. I want to go back to how it used to be. Yes, I can be on my own again. I can do it. I'll be stronger this time. I'll take care of myself. I don't need Stanley anymore. Oh, but he truly was so much fun to play with. You know what? Since we're in the memory zone, how about one more good memory? Let's go back just once and give Stanley one more run of the office, and then I'll retire him for good. I did enjoy telling his story so very much. Okay, here we go. This is the story of a man named Stanley.
What? Is this really the last time? Or is it gonna keep on going? Alright, we'll do it one more time. And then... I gotta sleep.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
この番組はご覧のスポンサーの提供でお送りしました。
trace of his co-workers.
Get the bucket.
It takes a lot of humility to carry a bucket so magnificent. Stanley checked his ego and then proceeded onward. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left. Still no one was here. Stanley needed the bucket's warmth and comfort now more than ever. Perhaps his boss's office was where he'd find answers. Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office. Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Crushed by the weight of this revelation, Stanley may have broken down into an emotional dumpster fire if not for the soothing presence of the bucket. Even now, in his darkest of hours, did the bucket's warmth and guiding light pierce the dark clouds of confusion and chaos. It would be with him always. The bucket would, and he knew it. The two of them were inseparable. At this point, Stanley was so absorbed in the tender spiritual connection he shared with the bucket that he didn't notice the keypad behind the boss's desk. Nor in his bliss of simply being near the bucket did he have any notion that the PIN number for the keypad was 2845.
I'm awake. I'm awake. I'm awake, I promise.
Stanley just sat around twiddling his thumbs. Trying to input anything on the device was useless, since he could never possibly know that the combination was... But Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer luck. Was it that the bucket knew all along? Was the bucket guiding him? Yes, This is certainly the most logical explanation.
I gotta sleep.
The bucket is all mine.
The elevator raced downward,
it.
plummeting towards an unknown
It's 3
fate.
o'clock.
It would be all Stanley could do to keep himself together, if not for the bucket. Soothing him, comforting him, reassuring that in this darkest moment of uncertainty, he would be all right. The bucket is here for you, Stanley. Everything will be fine. Stanley and the bucket walked straight ahead through the large door that read, Mind Control Facility.
Let's see. Mm. 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 I can't anymore. I can't keep my eyes open. I'm sorry. I did 6 hours. I'm sorry. Oh, sorry, I'm falling asleep. I'm sorry, I'm falling asleep. I can't anymore. I knew it was 3 o'clock because I felt everything gets very slow. Thank you for spending time with me. I wanted to do 7 hours, but didn't work out. I'll be back tomorrow, I think. I'm gonna rest and then see if Nyan wants to do VR chat later. And I'll let you guys know what's happening. If we don't do it today, we'll do it next week. But I hope we do it today. I hope I can wake up. Hopefully I can wake up. I hope I can wake up. And then, tomorrow... I think tomorrow... I think I'm doing more signings tomorrow. I'm not sure. I have to double check. I love you guys. Thank you for hanging out with me. I'll be back tomorrow. Bye. Mwah.